This is insanely evil Japanese company implodes overnight from Japanalysis.
この店の特徴は大量の展示台数を誇ること。
ビッグモーターの不正請求問題です。
クリーンで明るい店内はこれまでの中古車販売の油臭いイメージを払拭する。
ライバル企業の社員を合法したとしてビッグモーター社員の男が逮捕されました。
Wait, is this all just one company having all these issues? What the fuck? This is like insurance fraud. It sounds like employees assaulting people and just a bunch of other shit. How do you have this many problems at one fucking company? I mean, that sounds questionable. Oh, okay.
This is the story of how a billion-dollar Japanese business imploded overnight.
Jesus.
If you've ever been to
How
Japan,
do you...
you've probably seen this sign. They're the largest used car dealership and repair chain in the country. They're everywhere. Big Motor, or as they say it in Japan, started as a single store in Yamaguchi, but now boasts over 300 locations. Despite its near billion-dollar valuation, Big Motor is still a family business ran by this guy who founded the company in 1976. But as he started to age, he had a very difficult decision to make. Who would succeed him at his company? After years of deliberation, he followed in the footsteps of many other powerful leaders and chose the most qualified candidate. Nah,
his
just kidding.
son.
He hired his son.
Oh shit, he did. Okay.
At the start, this actually seemed like the best business decision ever. Big Motor had been around for 30.
All right. This is my interpretation most of the time when you get a son of like someone who owns a big company and then they take over. The son probably has been living his whole entire life under the lap of luxury, and then the dad was like having to like grind, be on that big fucking grind set his whole entire life, struggling, and he actually understands what it takes to get to that point. And the son has no fucking comprehension at all. And that's why you can't have him almost take over the company, because he'll have no idea how to like get into the proper positioning. Like, unless you like trained him where he's not living like the lap of luxury with everything he fucking needs and stuff, like there's no way I can imagine this working. Like, you cannot have someone who's just leisurely running the company and just thinks he knows how to run it versus like the dad who's like is the fucking war veteran in the fucking trenches, dug his whole way from the bottom to the top.
35 years, but they'd never seen growth like this. Koichi's hiring brought Big Motor into a new golden age.
Really?
Within 3 years, the company doubled in size. This made Daddy happy. So as a treat, he promoted Koichi to vice president. And over the following years, the insane growth only continued.
That sounds
Whatever
good.
Koichi was doing, it was working. But some negative Nancys did start asking questions like, how can a business sustain such insane growth? And what is Koichi doing that's so effective? Well, it's a little business trick called widespread fraud.
Oh,
in 2023,
well,
a video
you know,
showing a Big Motor garage manager teaching an employee how to pop customers' tires. They would only pop one, but say the tires must all be worn and sell a full new set of 4,
serious?
12,000 yen. Now, you must be asking, why would anyone be dumb enough to film something so blatantly?
Why?
Well, it was actually self-study material. At the same time Big Motor was creating problems just to solve them.
Dude, I would not expect this from like Japan. I'm not serious, and I'm not kidding. Like whenever I think of Japan, I just think of like people just actually being respectable for the most part and not trying to do this type of shit. But like, I guess it fucking happens over here. This is like some American like sweaty ass greasy used car salesman shit. Like, is what I think of.
They were actually only
people
pretending to solve customers' real problems. A leaked screenshot from an internal group chat showed an employee saying things like, just tell them you changed their oil, it'll be fine. These leaks got people talking, which encouraged other ex-employees. Whenever
you get your oil changed, make sure you check that dipstick. I mean, that doesn't guarantee it, but like, you better see that fucking dipstick and make sure that it is properly like done. And if you want to question it, go do it yourself when you leave the place.
Employees to share their stories. It quickly became clear that Big Motor wasn't run by Lex Luthor. It was run by Mr. Krabs.
I like money.
But that was just the tip of the iceberg. Things were about to get a lot worse for Big Motor. Look at this lot before Big Motor moved in. Now look at it after. Notice a difference? What about this one?
Sorry, I need to see that again.
Crabs. We're about to get a lot worse for Big Motor. Look at this lot before Big Motor moved.
There's hardly any car. Wait. Look at it before. There's hardly any cars in here. And it's like covered the visibility and stuff.
Now look at it after. Notice a difference?
There's tons more cars.
What about this
and like
one?
it's like fucking like scammier looking. Oh, like he literally just straight up removed the trees, like I was saying. Okay. Yeah, he just like made it easier to see, and there's like probably more cars in here.
Japanese internet detectives started noticing that trees all over the country started to mysteriously wither and die when they were blocking the view of Big Motor's beautiful used cars. The Tokyo government investigated and, to no one's surprise, found plant killer in 9 of 14 Big Motor soil samples from the...
Wait, is it illegal to like cut down the tree? So they just fucking killed the trees? Holy shit. I mean, in the US, I feel like it'd be like, oh, it's your property. You could just fucking cut the tree down, right? But in this case, some like guy is like going around the property, finding like sneaking some plant killer in there, killing the fucking trees. Bro, I hate oxygen. Let me smoke in that carbon dioxide from the pipes.
City. Big
Oh,
Motor
it's
killed
public area
so many
sidewalk.
trees
Okay.
that they were caught red-handed multiple times by the Google
Oh my
Maps
God.
car.
I cannot believe it.
Apparently, Daddy's little boy was so obsessed with making his used cars visible from the street that he would go around to each Big Motor location and demote managers who had plants growing outside.
Bro, are you serious? That is fucked up. Yeah, I get why he's doing it, but like, that's fucked, man.
The tree killing was so absurd that it even inspired cosplayers. But it doesn't just end there. If
Holy
you think
shit.
killing trees is crazy, let me tell you, this guy was a real piece of work. The worst thing that could happen to you while working at Big Motor is to hear that Koichi was coming. This happened multiple times per year, and it meant that everyone needed to stay at work until 3 a.m. the night before getting the store ready. When his car pulled up, everyone needed to greet him in a loud voice. One employee told a story that when his manager went out for the greeting, Koichi was relieving himself in the parking lot facing nearby residences and got mad at the manager for interrupting him.
Bro, what the fuck is this monster? Why would you do that at your business? Oh my God. Like, especially in a Japanese city where it's like busy as hell. Dude. If you're like in the fucking bayou in Florida or like some fucking like middle of nowhere place, okay, I can understand someone going and fucking taking a leak, like where you can't see that. But in the public at your business, and you're like the VP or CEO, like Jesus, what the fuck? That is just not caring.
His standards were insane. One manager was demoted for a cigarette butt found in the gutter outside. You could be fired for having an unclean desk. He would obsessively check your sales numbers and your Google reviews. So
when he is pissing on, like, where people can see it that are potential customers, why the fuck do you care about his cigarette butt or his fucking desk? Jesus.
When inspection day came, employees would be working overtime solving CAPTCHAs all night. Because you really didn't want to get on Koichi's naughty list. And no, that's not just an expression. He had a group chat with all 300 store managers where he would rank each store's sales and shame poor performers. Some logs have been leaked from these group chats. They're pretty crazy. The worst, but also most memed one, is this one where he just keeps saying,
教育教育教育死刑死刑死刑
What the fuck?
教育死刑死刑死刑死刑教育教育教育
Oh my God.
教育魂死刑死刑死刑死刑死刑死刑死刑
Oh my God. Holy shit, what the hell? Wait. Did he inspire these songs? Or is this people memeing after the fact? Or like, what is going on here? Or is he reciting the songs themselves? Holy shit. If he did it first and then Vocaloid somehow like made songs and then it got into like the taiko drum song, like, and it goes that fucking deep, that is insane.
Koichi set an insane target of 140,000 yen per vehicle repair job. Yes, any customer at Big Motor was expected to spend at least $1,000 fixing their vehicle. This created a toxic work environment that pitted managers against employees. In this leaked photo, a Big Motor
Wait. So it was like if each customer did not spend $1,000 on repairs, I'm assuming that's what led to him actually sabotaging like people's fucking cars. Am I understanding this correctly?
Koichi set an insane target of 140,000 yen per vehicle repair job. Yes, any customer at Big Motor was expected to spend at least $1,000 fixing their vehicle. This created a toxic work environment that pitted managers against employees. In this leaked photo, a Big Motor manager tied a phone to his employee's head with elastic bands to punish him for not making enough sales calls. Then,
what? That seems like that should be fucking illegal. Dude. I mean, I've heard bad shit about Japanese workplaces, but nothing like that. Most of the time when I hear bad shit about Japanese workplaces, it's like a boss, like, feeding down some, like, absolute bullshit expectation, like deadlines, and then you have a situation where the people, like, work, like, nonstop and they're sleeping under their desks. By the way, that happens in the game industry all the fucking time when you're in crunch. But regardless, my point is like, the expectation there, when I hear that, that is, like, not when it comes to, like, this sales and shit like this. That's crazy. Nothing like, this is, like, actual, like, workplace abuse.
and posted the picture in the group chat to make fun of him. Here, a Big Motor employee's ID badge was heavily vandalized by his manager, who wrote insults all over it. Okay, surely that's all of it, right? Big Motor fakes repairs, kills trees, and abuses their employees. What else could they even do at this point?
You know, okay, this is the only thing I can think of, is when you work at a Japanese company, I think they tend to have a situation where they stay loyal to the company their whole entire lives, or like the expectation to leave and go all over the place all the time is much less in Japanese companies. Where in like US companies, I feel like you are constantly either moving around or something. Like, I think I've been through like 5 jobs total my whole entire like working career, as far as degree goes, right? And I feel like in Japan, the job that you get out of school, or maybe your second job, usually is something you almost stick to your whole entire life. And that's where I've like seen that like in their culture, like as far as like from like afar, right? I'm not obviously in their culture. It seems if you get a job out of like school, you'll stick with that because you need to be loyal and you need to like suck up to your boss like 24/7 and do anything to your boss to like get promoted and push yourself along. That's why they're like willing to take all this fucking abuse, is because like culturally, it's not okay for you to like, it's not as accepted for you to like leave and jump around. It actually looks worse. Yeah, it's less individualistic. But when they're doing that kind of stuff, like they're like, that's super, they're like taping the phone, writing like insults all over your ID card and all that kind of shit. Like, and just like general fucking harassment. Like, how do you put up with that? I can't imagine putting up with that. I wouldn't. But like, I guess it's the cultural thing. Potentially, I like, maybe under the circumstances I would. I don't think I would though.
Well, if you gotta give him something, Big Motor managers are very creative. One of their signature tricks was to use customers' personal information to impersonate.
Sorry, I take that back. I take insults from chat all the time, but I still fucking keep coming back. So that it is what it is.
them, call around to rival shops, and cancel all appointments under that name. Another clever trick was to sell cars to their own employees. Joining Big Motor was like pledging to a fraternity, and the hazing ritual was buying a car. You want a stressful sales job with an abusive boss where you could get fired at any moment? Sure, the only requirement is a 10-year loan with 9% interest on a used car. An ex-employee was on the news saying that his boss gave him 30 minutes to buy a car or he was fired.
Jesus.
All of these money-making and cost-cutting tricks helped Koichi inflate Big Motor's sales over the years, but all of it pales in comparison to the main scam, the one that truly helped them become a billion-dollar player. When this manager was popping tires,
Did dad just fucking turn his head away and is like, you're a good boy, son. You're a good boy, son. You were doing such a good job. Good job, son. Good boy. Was he just not giving a shit what was going on? Like, this is what it seems like. Money's all that matters.
he wasn't actually selling them to the customers. He was billing them to the insurance companies.
Oh. I see.
When
Insurance
the customer
scam.
had insurance, Big Motor
I
always
see.
milked the job for as much as they could.
I
They knew
see.
The most expensive
So like American healthcare. American healthcare. Ah, yes.
things to damage to jack up the bill. They would use sharp objects to extend scratches, draw in damage with
Dude!
chalk, use candles and sandpaper to damage the car, and put a golf ball in a sock and use that to whack the car, increasing the size of dents.
Are you fucking serious? What the fuck? Holy shit. How? Okay. I feel like this is almost a case where you should take camera, like evidence of your car before you take it into any like mechanic, like, and to make sure they're not doing this kind of stuff. But you're never going to catch if they do something to internally, unless you are like good with cars. And at that point, like, if you're good with cars, you're probably not taking it into a mechanic. You're doing it yourself.
This made people see these old Big Motor ads in a whole new light.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
いいでしょう。いかがですか。いいんですか。この値段で。はい。さあさあ、契約は中の方で。どうぞどうぞ。
Dude, that's so fucked. They were actually imitating themselves. Their whole entire, like, all of their videos that they were, like, outputting, it was just imitating themselves. They had, like, the best inspiration, just everything they did themselves.
Someone even started
Jesus.
selling Big Motor new employee starter kits online.
My god.
Seriously though, a question you might have is, don't insurance companies pay?
Dude, how does like the meme level of that happen and then the company still exists? Wouldn't you, okay, if you know it's at that level where like someone knows that the company is going out of their way to like damage these vehicles and do all this shit and it's being memed on, why would someone go and purchase a car from them? Why would you do business with these people? I feel like this is like an easy like way for the company just to sink instantly. Because their reputation would be shit.
Inspectors to stop this kind of fraud? How were they deceived so easily by golf balls, sandpaper, and screwdrivers? Well, that's the most important question of this video. Let's talk about car insurance in Japan. There are three major players, Tokyo Marine, Mitsui Sumitomo,
Was the insurance
and
company
Sompo
in on it?
Japan. And in 2021, a whistleblower approached them and told them exactly
dude,
what
what
Big
the
Motor was
fuck?
doing. Concerned, the insurance companies asked Big Motor what was going on. Big Motor took this very seriously. They asked the most competent detective they knew to look into it. Yeah, they investigated themselves. Big Motor quickly came back with their conclusion.
You can't do anything wrong when you invest yourselves. Just like, you know, Activision, Blizzard, or these gaming companies when they look internally and are just like, yeah, we did nothing wrong. Definitely looks all good. Bobby Kotick did nothing wrong, guys. By the way, no one executives at Activision Blizzard didn't do anything wrong. Just looks good to me. A-OK government, just see it, boys. Like, just head on out. We're good here.
It's just a few overworked employees making mistakes. It's not coordinated. Sompo Japan reviewed the report and agreed with the conclusions?
Jesus.
What? How? Well, let's just say that Sompo and Big Motor had a few mutual interests. By mutual interests, I mean Sompo was the biggest shareholder outside of CEO
That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. It's the insurance company is in on it.
Hiroyuki. And second, before Daddy brought Koichi into Big Motor, he had him work at Sompo for a year.
Oh,
and when Koichi moved to Big Motor,
shit.
he brought 37 Sompo employees
Oh
with
my
him.
god, the
So clearly
inside
they were more
job.
than just friends. But their relationship goes deeper than that. Ex-employees claim that Sompo and Big Motor had a secret agreement. Sompo would overlook Big Motor's suspicious insurance claims, and in return, Big Motor would prioritize selling Sompo over the other two insurance companies. Customers generally don't care who provides their insurance as long
This
as
is
they have
so
it.
fucked.
The 37 employees actually helped with this. A representative from Sompo taught our staff how to photograph damage to make it look worse, including tips like capturing scratches from certain angles to make them appear deeper.
You know, like, when the conspiracy goes this deep, like, when people question, like, Illuminati shit and all this, like, and this shit is actually happening in the real world, like, and people are making shit up about conspiracy or, like, questioning stuff, and then all this is happening, like, come on, this sounds like some supervillain shit. Or, like, some, like, oh my god.
Over 40% of Big Motor's insurance repairs were fraudulent. This netted Big Motor 10 billion yen over 5 years. So in the end, everyone won except for the customer whose premiums were going up due to the larger than necessary insurance claims.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking is, like, Big Motor makes it so the insurance claim goes up and all this stuff. Like, they're getting more money back, but they're also causing the person's, like, credit, like, I don't know, like, insurance, like, score or whatever to, like, skyrocket because clearly they're not taking care of their car, so that makes their insurance go up and higher. And the more they see that, like, oh my god, that's so fucked. Holy shit.
Anyways, when Sompo
I guarantee
agreed with
some
Big
shit like
Motor's
this goes on in the
no-fault
US.
conclusion,
There's
it set
no
off
way
some
it doesn't.
red flags for the other two insurance companies who started their own investigations. Obviously, they found tons of fraud. They tried to report it to the public in 2022, but Big Motor retaliated. A leaked email showed that they immediately gave an order to stop selling insurance for the other two companies. This all came out in July, and it's still dominating the news cycle today. Japanese people were furious.
Why would you buy from this fucking company? What is making this company stay afloat? Why are you working with this company? What the fuck is wrong with people? Why would you continue doing this? This is self-harm.
Because they finally understood why their insurance rates have been going up so much recently. On July 25th, Hiroyuki held a press conference where he apologized and said he didn't know the extent of what was going on. He announced both him and his son were stepping
Why is the government not involved? Like, I feel like at that point, the government should, like, have some, like, fucking eyes on this shit.
down. But Koichi hasn't appeared in public or apologized even once since this scandal broke. You can probably tell that because
He doesn't
I
give
only
a
have
shit.
2 videos and 1 picture
Too
of
busy
him.
golfing.
But yeah, his dad has completely taken the fall. By the way, the most impactful moment of this press conference was when Hiroyuki was talking about how employees were caught using golf balls in socks to damage cars. For some reason, he thought it was a good idea to say, "That is sacrilegious to golf lovers everywhere."
Dude. 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 Bro, your son learned some good shit on that golf course, okay? On how to make some more money, okay? He learned the new strats, and he's given the strats to his employees. Daddy didn't teach him this, but he definitely learned somewhere on the golf course how to swindle some money.
It's like, bro, are you trying to make a joke during your apology for
Hello?
insurance fraud? Anyways, since the scandal broke, it's been bad news after bad news for Big Motor. Their profits are way down because nobody in their right mind would trust them with their cash. 4 Big Motor locations have already closed. The new CEO is scrambling to put out fires, including a Big Motor employee making headline news for...
Why is the son even in his position? Get that fucker out. Oh my God, get him the hell out of there. No way, dude. You do not leave him in like any position.
Assaulting a rival company employee. The FSA, Japan's equivalent of the SEC, announced massive investigations into
I would
Big
hope
Motor
so.
and Sompo. Police forces all over Japan have already raided 21 Big Motor locations, including their head office, for tree killing, confiscating tons of cardboard boxes worth of stuff, including shovels, weed eaters, and leaf blowers. One of the largest concerns regarding this whole affair was, how would it affect the Japanese economy overall? Big Motor was the largest in the used car market, but what about their competitors? How could they compete if they weren't fraudulent too? And just how complicit were the insurance companies? Well, on September 6th, it was revealed that Next Stage, the number 2 in the used car market,
doing it
was
too?
just as fraudulent as Big Motor. Their
So what I'm hearing right now is do not buy used cars in Japan. Ever. Jesus. How fucking deep does this go? Dude, I'm going to be honest, like, I have only bought ever used cars. I've never bought a new car. Like, our current car, it's a used car. And it's lasted us for, like, 5 or 6 years now. My, like, one car that I had lasted 4 years, but that was because I didn't take care of it that well. But most of my other cars, like, most of my cars I've taken fairly good care of, and there's only one case where it wasn't, but it was just weird circumstance. That's all I'm gonna get into. But in general, like in the US, I've never had problems with my used cars. Even though, like, I feel like I always think of like greasy, like used car salesman, like kind of situation. But I always ended up like going to like a place that like, yeah, I end up paying a little bit more money, but I always felt it was safer to like, I'm not gonna get a bad product. Like I even out of the used car, like I tried to stay away from like places that felt too greasy. I mean, obviously that's like a judgment and what you can afford and stuff like that, but yeah, I haven't had too bad of experiences. Yeah, I hate dealerships even in the first place. Like, getting our current car, there was like some stuff we went through. It was like really like shady. Like it felt like them to get us like to sign up for like more shit than we needed, or like pay more than we needed because like they were trying to get us on a particular like loan as opposed to our bank loan and stuff like that. That's different. But like that's not the same as like the car actually having problems with it, right? Like that's different. That's them trying to do like through like dealings of like through the on the table and stuff like that for them to make more money. Like there's clearly got to be places where this kind of shit happens in the US though.
CEO resigned on the 11th. That's not all. Another competitor called Good Speed was exposed as well. As for the insurance companies, the CEO of Sompo held a press conference on the 8th and admitted that he continued working with Big Motor despite knowing about their fraud. He resigned that day. This story is still developing, so if you guys want, I can post updates in my Discord.
It's still going on? How? How are these people in business? How are these people in business? Why are you going to them? This should be like mainstream news. Holy shit. Like, why would you step in to one of these dealerships? It's the only thing I can think of is like, there is no other options, like, and you don't have like money for anything else. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. And like the other thing, like, it's on my mind is, isn't in Japan like public transportation way more like prevalent? It is in mainstream news in Japan. Yeah, but if you saw it in mainstream news in Japan, why would they stay in business if this is all the stuff that's being reported? Like, holy crap. Because I have to think all this, I guess here's the theory, right? because they're now being investigated, because they're in the eyes of the public, maybe they like stop doing it during this time. But wait a minute, wait until everything calms the fuck back down, and we're gonna get right back to business. Well, they do have great visibility due to all the dead trees. It's true, they do. Okay.